What we're going to do, we're going to take a slightly more political stance today on being the other, and we're going to look at the position of the left and the right and how these two groups create the other. Let's get started. Welcome back. I'm Dr. Dwight Turner. As always, it's a pleasure to talk to yourselves here on Being the Other. I thought I'd do something a little bit different this week, in that often when we consider aspects of otherness, when we consider actually the influence of those in the majority or with power, whatever it might be, and how they impact on the other, we often assume that they're from the right, the political right, those sort of more conservative, more traditionally conservative sort of angles. And yet, as the likes of Malcolm X, Martin Luther King would often state, something we state in this country as well, actually, the insidiousness of the left can be just as problematic, can be just, in fact, even more so, I would argue, than that of the right. Let me give you an example as to why. From the right, we can look at the likes of the Donald Trumps of the world and whatever else, and the sort of supremacists and stuff, and you sort of know what's coming. You sort of know that the hate, the fear, the rage, the aggression, whatever else that's going to come from the right in the form of lynchings or exclusions, whatever it might be, you sort of know, as a minority, what's coming in your direction. It's a little bit more tricky when you're dealing with something from the left. Let me give you some examples. Tokenism can be, it's really quite a difficult way of actually living your life as the other. For example, I've been on committees, for example, where I've been invited to sit on a committee, and it's mainly white people, it might be, or it could be just that you're on a committee and it's mainly men and you're a woman. Also, it can happen in many different ways. But tokenism, what tokenism actually does is, has you sat there not doing anything, but playing a role. So you're playing that sort of diversity role. You're being the diversity hire, if you like, for that position, but you're not given any sort of power or authority to make the changes that you think should be made in order for things to progress. That sort of way of feeling or way of being often comes in from the left. It's a more insidious and unconscious way of maintaining control. Another example, the hero. Now, we often see this in popular culture. There are many different superhero movies out there. I'm not going to go through them all. There are far too many. And I, like any other person, love a good action movie. I'm not going to deny that, whatever else. But the idea of being the other in those movies was often that you're either a sort of person who was there just to scream and to be rescued by this brave, strong man, whatever it was, or if in the place of a person of color, you didn't survive. You didn't survive more than the first 20 minutes. And God help you if you had any other form of otherness, you probably didn't even make it into the movie in the first place. These are examples of where we're excluded by those who are seen as well-meaning and have views that may sit on the left, but still hold some very insidious and complicit ways of being that exclude difference. It's worth noting this. Organizations can get caught in both of these, that we'll do it for that minority group over there, or we'll hire that minority hire. But we're not actually going to change anything fundamental in order for things to develop and to move forward and to become more inclusive. Now, I'm going to leave that one right there. It can sound like a bit of a rant today, but hey, you know what? That's one of those things. It's a pleasure, as always, to talk to yourselves here on Twitter, where I seem to be doing a lot of tweeting these days. That's probably why I'm not always here. Follow me on Twitter, follow me on Facebook, track me down where you need to. I'm Dr. Dwight Turner. It's a pleasure to work with you as always. Talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.